So today I'm just going to take you on a little impromptu garden tour just to show you, and just because I want to document it for myself, just what the garden looks like here at the beginning of the summer. So it is June the 4th when I am doing this, and I can't wait to see what it looks like even when I do the mid-summer garden tour, which will be probably towards like the end of July because our summer goes into September here in Tennessee. But please excuse, because it is impromptu, so nothing has been like cleaned up or anything like that. So it's pretty weedy and things like that. So I'm gonna turn the camera around and show you our gardens. Please excuse all the weeds. So these are our watermelons, and they are growing fantastically. We hope that they continue to do so. This little guy here is a little bit behind, but hopefully that just means that we'll have melons throughout instead of all at once. So there are 4 plants planted here. Then here are some cantaloupes, and again, they are growing beautifully. So right along this cattle panel here we have, I think the ones on that side are the midget melons, and these are more cantaloupe. So super excited about those. These we of course planted straight from seed, and they're just so healthy and just doing so well. We've been really pleased. So then we have this little path here underneath our trellis, and then all of this is our cucumbers. Now, I started my cucumbers indoor. However, they did not transplant at all. They just withered and died. So I planted all of these from seed, and just look at this. I have never had cucumbers that looked like this. I just am so excited about this. They are growing so beautifully. They're just well fertilized, well watered, all of that. Super excited about that. And then I ended up planting, I think it's on the other side. I've got 2 types of cucumbers here, by the way. Oh, let's see. Okay, I think it's this. I think that one, and yes, because there's some over here too. But those are actually loofah gourds, and I just randomly planted them there just to see what would happen, and they are taking off too. So super excited about how the cucumbers are doing, and I cannot wait. I'm hoping we get some good rain. So I did plant some more onions here, and I did not do the bulbs this time here. They are not doing well at all. This one and this one looks like they're finally kind of starting to take, but the other ones are just looking kind of ugh. There's a lot of weeds growing in there too. Okay, so this big guy right here, he's a volunteer. So this is coming up from our garden last year, all on its own. It's real sprawly and kind of crazy looking. I was going to pull it out because we've got so many of them, and he's just kind of randomly placed, but he's starting to produce. So I figure, well, we'll just let him do his thing. This might be my little experiment this year. I might let him just do his thing. But I've got to do a little something to him because I've got one of my pepper plants that is in this row. So in between my pepper plants, I planted various types of flowers. I mostly planted different kinds of zinnias. I went crazy with the zinnias this year from Baker Creek. They just had so many that were so pretty. So these guys, I don't even remember which plants are which types of peppers, which I know is terrible. So some of these peppers I started from seed, and they're those little biodegradable pots. There were a few that I bought and planted, but for the most part, they are all from seed. But you can see all kinds of little buds starting here all over it, and flowers. So hopefully we will get pretty good yields from all of that. So we've got a lot of pepper plants and a lot of different zinnias hoping for all of those wonderful pollinators. So there's even more pepper plants over here, more zinnias over here. Now that one I do know is a jalapeno plant, so I do know that one. But the other ones, don't ask me. So these, some type of striped tomato, I think. These, I don't know. I planted them from seed and I did not keep up with what plants they were. So terrible on my part. So I'm trying a little something different with how I am standing these up this year. It is not working out for me. Maybe I'm doing it all wrong. Maybe I need to come in with twine a little more. I don't know. But again, just kind of experimenting and seeing what needs to happen here. Trying to keep all of the bottom branches cut off so that we don't get any kind of diseases on our tomato plants. So right here, I wasn't sure how these would do because they took so long to sprout, and they're not even placed in the places that I put them. But this is all okra, right all the way down through here. Super excited about that because Mama loves her okra. So they seem to be doing really well. I'm pretty pleased with these. I'm not gonna thin them out. I think I'm just gonna keep them and let them do their thing. Again, that might be a mistake, but I've kind of always done that kind of thing. Okay, so let's move on to, my goodness, these tomatoes. Okay, so these guys are doing wonderfully. They are just on overdrive. So I think I might cut this guy off or break him off. There we go. We'll break him off. Anyway, we've actually taken a lot of the suckers and put them in water to try to get them to root up so that we can have more tomato plants to plant, because that way we can have production all summer into the fall. Anyway, so these are doing beautifully. These are all of my Roma tomato plants. So super excited about these. I do have I did come out here the other day and I spotted some aphids. Oh, there's even more. Look at all those. Anyway, I spotted some aphids on these plants. Oh, there's some back there. Oh, that makes me so happy. Anyway, I did spot some aphids on these. I did go ahead and buy some neem oil. That's just one that you can use that is not going to harm your food or anything like that. I don't want these big long ones on here, so I'm trying to break them off. Anyway, and now they can breathe. There we go. They can breathe now. So anyway, so I am going to spray these with some neem oil. It is considered an organic kind of pesticide to keep things like aphids off. So yeah, so these are, like I said, these are Romas. I did not start these 4 plants right here. These were bought from a local Amish community near us. Well, Mennonite, Old Order Mennonite. And their plants just always do wonderfully for us. And so that's what these 4 Romas are right here. Now, do not ask me what these are because I have no clue. I started these. I know that's awful. I don't know what they are. But I started these plants. Don't know what they are. They're starting to really take off now, which makes me happy. And this guy over here is another one that we planted from seed. And then this one right here, I did buy from, again, from the Mennonite community, and it is our Sun Sweet tomatoes. These things, oh my word, I just saw all these. These things go crazy. We love these things. The Sun Sweets, they're kind of like an orangey yellow. Oh, here's another volunteer, and this one's a volunteer also. So if these are volunteers, my Sun Sweets were planted that way this year. So my thought is that all of these, that's a volunteer back there. that sprawly one back there is a volunteer. My guess is that all of these volunteer plants are probably sun sweets, because that's why I only bought one this year, because I had 2 last year and they literally grew all the way down the other side of the garden. It was insane. So my guess is that that's what these are sun sweets, especially based on this guy's getting one. So super excited about how our garden is doing this year. Now about the Back to Eden. So this, like I said, we did spread mushroom compost all over. Well, not all over, really more, we made rows of mushroom compost where we were planting everything. So, and then John put the wood chips in the middle. He put cardboard underneath. Now, our plan is to, at the end of growing season, to cover the whole entire garden in wood chips. And we can do that now because, dun da da, this was dropped off today. Our neighbor behind us actually had a tree cut down and they were chipping it up, and I was like, oh, I need those wood chips. So we asked them if we could have them. I was trying to look at what type that is. Alrighty, should be good. But I asked them if we could have the wood chips, and they came and dropped them today. So super excited there. It's gonna be a while before they break down. Hopefully by the end of the summer we'll have some good breakdown of all of that. But that's our wood chips, so yay. Okay, so let's go up here to the upper garden. This one is full of weeds, so please excuse that, but it is growing in abundance as well. Oh yeah, I was gonna show you. So here is my elderberry bush here, doing well. Roots are well established. Got some new growth coming out, which is great, a great sign. So that is my elderberry. This is the first blackberry bush that I bought, and as you can see, I have been really disappointed in. However, do you see this? That, my friends, is blackberries. So that's exciting. This is the one I bought from the Mennonite community. Seems to be doing quite well. Got some new leaves coming out up here. So that's good. Now, I did notice this. I'm not sure what that's a sign of. Maybe should I just pluck that off, you think? Go ahead and do it. It can't hurt it, right? So I'll go ahead and pull those off and see if that helps it any. There we go. So anyway, as I was saying, it seems to be doing really well. It's been here for a couple of months now, and it's nice and green. It's got some new growth coming out in little shoots all over and at the top. So I think we're gonna end up having success with our blackberry bushes. Now if we can just get them to bear fruit next year, that would be fantastic. And I'll bring you over here to see my weedy garden. So our strawberries are done. We had great production from them. There's still maybe like a few here and there. I need to get in here. Actually, I see one right there. There's one right there. Yep. It's kind of been there a little too long. It's a little bitty one. Anyway, we had some great yield off of our strawberries this year. We got, I don't know, every day I came out here and filled up quite a bit, so that's a good thing. So right here, this is my squash, and it is starting to produce. Look at all that. Oh, that makes me so happy. I think we are going to get some good amount of squash off of that. This guy's starting to produce. I need to weed this really bad. Oh my goodness. So super excited about this one too. This one's a little bit behind, but again, that's a good thing in my opinion, because then you have yield longer. Look how beautiful that flower is. Oh, that makes me so happy. Okay, so there's that. Beside it, I started our zucchini from seed. So it's taken just a little bit longer. This is 2 different zucchini plants that came up together. And they seem to be doing really well. They're in a good spot though. It's sunny in the morning, and then in the afternoon it starts to get shaded right here. So yeah. Now, so all of this is mostly strawberries. The plants are getting quite huge, and there's lots of weeds in there. My plan is to go through, what I'll probably do is I will make rows in my strawberries, and just go through and just really weed out and rip out to make nice clean rows. And then what I think I'm gonna do is in between those rows, I'm gonna put the wood chips the way they are now, just to be a barrier on those rows to maintain them. And then there's not much that we have to do because it's under a pine tree. And so what happens is the pine needles fall all over the top of our strawberries, and they kind of just regulate themselves. So anyway, so that's the plan for that. Our onions are very slow going. I am not having great luck. I don't know if I planted them a little too deep, because as you can see, I've been doing this and I'm not getting to the bulb. So I think this was a my mistake kind of thing. Oh, there's a bulb on that one, but they're still so slow. So we might end up having to eat them as green onions, which is fine. So here, there's lots of bird poop. They've been hanging out a lot over here on the fence, the neighbor's fence beside us. But over here we have our dragon tongue beans. So this is a first. Ooh, I see flowers. So this is a first for us. The dragon tongue beans is good. So hopefully we will have some good yield. I'm wanting those especially to make, my plan is to can a bunch of vegetable soup for the winter. And dragon tongue beans apparently are excellent in things like soups. And so I plan to use a lot of them in there. So that's those, and I'll show you the rest. All right, so these up our cattle panel here, they're starting to grow up it so nicely. This is actually our rattlesnake green beans, rattlesnake beans. Super excited about those as well. It's my first year growing those, and they are growing prolifically, and I hope that they produce that way as well. So I'm staying hopeful on that. I'm loving the cattle panel for these. Should have done it over here. These look like a train wreck. You guys, this is terrible. Look at this. These are white half runners. And they look, like I said, like a train wreck. It looks like a jungle. I'm probably gonna end up killing a lot of the vining when I start having to pick them. We'll see how they produce. Hopefully they'll still produce well, even though they're like a train wreck. So this is all carrots. So the carrots are doing really well. They're starting to get a little slow in growth, and I think it's because it's starting to get so hot. And it's starting to get dry. So anyway, so we have picked some, and they were very good. It's purple carrots from Baker Creek, but it's also just some regular run-of-the-mill kind of orange carrots. So I planted them way too thick, so that's probably working against me as well. And so again, it's just one of those, there you go, Megan, that was a dumb choice. Our spinach has bolted. I am letting some of it go to seed. Then I'm gonna rip all this out, and I haven't decided yet what I'm gonna plant here. I might actually do more squash, or the tomatoes that we are sprouting, we may plant here as well. I haven't decided yet. Our lettuce is still growing excellently. It's looking so nice and lush, and it tastes delicious. Our snap peas are starting to slow down now. We are still getting quite a few, and they are very, very good. I plant these every single time. They are the Queen Anne. There's one that's ready. Anyway, the kids come over here and they snap them off and snack on them all the time, so I think they're pulling too hard on these and it's starting to kill it. again, I think I'm just gonna convert all to cattle panels next year because, yeah. Okay, so this is all broccoli that I just plopped in the ground to see what it would do. I do this every year, and this is the same thing that happens. It produces. Now, this broccoli is not like a headed broccoli. I can't remember the kind that it is, but it sends off these little shoots. So it's already in like little things like this. So this is actually ready to be picked because I don't want this to start flowering. But that's the only one that's starting to do that yet. The rest of them are a little bit behind, so they may end up bolting, which is kind of a bummer. But I will plant this again for the fall harvest, which it does better in my area in the fall anyway. So that's the plan there. More lettuce. Again, just beautiful, lush, prolific, very tasty, crunchy, so good. We need to eat more of that. And over here, this is just some purple onions that are bulbing and doing quite well over here. So I planted these specifically for salsa in mind. Again, I've got to get in here and weed this. It's just awful. But it's just, we got a big rain the other day, and so it just caused everything to just start rapidly growing. I was gonna check the broccoli. This one looks like it's getting ready to start here. So that is the garden thus far here at the beginning of the summer.